Hi, my name is Thomas Hafter. I'm a managing partner at Points Group. Today is episode 1 of what do we call it? Hashtag Just Some Points. We will try to do that every week. I have with me Roy, head of our digital marketing team, and Melissa, who's one of our account strategists, and well, we just want to make a few points. Yeah. I know that you were giggly this week about Google, right?
Yeah. Definitely some big news out of Google. So the update that they released on Monday, they're calling the BERT update, and we'll break down what that stands for in a moment. But
it stands for something?
Yeah, it stands for...
Is it abbreviation or what?
Yeah, let's see if we can see it here. Bidirectional encoder representations from transformers.
You know, they need a marketing agency to come up with some better stuff. Who cares about that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, so this is like a technology that they say they introduced last year, and I'll say what this is straight from their update. Last year we introduced an open sourced, a neural network based technique for natural language processing, pre-training, called bidirectional encoding representations from transformers. And basically what this is a way for them to better understand more complex search terms.
I think what they've done, because I know that for a long time, they've been researching voice recognition, the whole translation work they've done, and I think they're starting to combine the technologies that they had working on separate paths, and I think they are now melting it into the search engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember like the exact number, but it was something like 1 in 8 searches were now voice searches.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Wow. Meaning like...
Yeah, like talking to your phone, okay Google, tell me this.
Do you do that?
I don't do it, but I don't know, do you do it?
I do not, but I have specifically told my phone not to listen to me.
Yeah.
So if I did not have that setting, I imagine I would be doing it pretty often.
I know people that just constantly talk to the phone, even texting. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Some people are really good at it, but you're saying how many of?
I believe it was something like 1 in 8 searches or something.
So it's quite a bit.
It was quite a bit. And we are seeing that in our own clients, you know, search queries and things like that. When you go into Google Analytics and you look at what people are searching for and what our results are coming up for, you do see, okay Google, or Google, can you tell me? Or
actually, that's actually a good point. Do you see that on Google Analytics? Which one is a voice search?
Currently, no. I'm not seeing any of that.
It's just something you could suspect based on how it's being said.
Yeah, it's definitely certainly more conversational search terms, or as you say, it's almost like they're talking to their phone.
Exactly. You're starting to see those conjunctions and articles like and, is, if, of, the. You're starting to see those come up a lot more in those search terms instead of just the big keywords that we were kind of trained to search for.
Yeah, so basically if you go and check out their official update, they'll break down a bunch of examples. And
but what's the impact on the client or on anybody?
Well, so what we would hope to see here is from Google, or from organic traffic, you would want to see, ideally, if Google is doing a good job here and the update does what they want, you're going to be seeing better performance from your organic traffic. Because they're going to be serving results that are more aligned with what people are searching. Because before, they weren't quite getting the nuances of these search. I mean, as we all know, English language is complicated. It's a weird language. So people would search one thing and it would show not quite what they were looking for. So with this update, they're really hoping to nail that down a bit.
Cool.
Yeah,
wow.
So that's the biggest one in the past 5 years.
So as a digital marketing team, you're now scrambling to figure out what does this really mean on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a very concrete impact on your and your team's work? Or not really?
I think we'll see changes in performance and traffic numbers, because they've said it's going to impact 1 in 10 searches, which is huge. But I don't think this changes our internal processes at Points Group, because we're very white hat, by the books, we're goal oriented. We're not trying to game any algorithms.
Okay.
Our work process is to serve people who are going to that website. We're trying to provide valuable content. So ideally, And in this case, we're not changing our internal process as much, but we certainly need to keep an eye on fluctuations in traffic.
Okay. I actually, I think in the hallway this week, passing each other, you mentioned something about Elon Musk being huff and puff about it.
Yeah. So he complained on Twitter actually, and this was just after we had talked about it. He complained on Twitter, and he says it's really hard to find Tesla solar roofs when searching in Google, and he says something with all the paid ads and problems with SEO. So it was pretty funny. You know, he's complaining about, you know, what could be a very serious concern in some spaces where, you know, you do have to scroll below the fold on search results to get to organic results.
Yeah, it's getting me annoying. I have to say, you know, we had this conversation before. It's really annoying that Google is really taking more and more organic search space away.
Yeah, there are ads at the top, and now there's even ads at the bottom too. So you're really very limited on the organic.
That's right. Actually, I think 95% of people don't go to page 2, and then 98% don't go to page 3. I wonder if this might change. That if page 2 over, you know, in the near future might actually get more important in the future if they keep doing that. So anyway, that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about it too is he, you know, by tweeting that and the massive amount of engagement that it got, it likely did improve his search rankings there.
Okay.
So a smart move, whether he knew it or not.
Okay.
And there was some other news out of Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter actually made a really big announcement. I think it was yesterday that they are no longer going to accept political advertising, which is.
Does that mean they shut down Trump's Twitter account? I think it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, there will be, I think as of November 14th or 15th, there's something very almost immediate that there will no longer accept paid advertising for political campaigning, which is huge. And they took a lot of jabs at Facebook, and obviously with all the heat that Facebook's been getting recently, I guess this is kind of their way to combat that.
I personally think Facebook is taking too much of an easy way out. Just, okay, it's not our problem, kind of.
Right.
And I think when you have that much power, you have some responsibility in it. And but, you know.
Yeah, I don't think this solves all the problems overnight with, you know, social media.
No, but it's a stand.
Exactly. He's taking a stand, and it's very much the opposite stand that Facebook's taking.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, actually.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that. Yeah.
So, do you have anything? If not, yeah, I have.
Twitter and political advertising was my biggest thing.
Yeah.
That seemed like it's getting a lot of attention. I mean, it don't literally just happened like within the last 2 days, but people are kind of, you know, there's two edges of that sword. I guess there are people who really like that idea, and then there's obviously the people who are really against it.
That what's will be interesting to see if that will over time have some kind of effect on other areas where they say, okay, let's politics now, and then maybe in the future something else.
Yeah.
What's interesting too is, like, while direct political ads are canceled now, you can't do them. You can still go and you can hire influencers. You know, there's still the bot armies out there, so the game might not be changing too much, but of course time will tell. Related to that actually is the FTC. This was earlier this week. They cracked down on a company selling fake likes on Twitter, and they're getting fined $2.5 million.
I think it's the right thing to do, honestly.
So, I mean, so when they just ban political advertising alone, okay, that might have an impact. But when that combined with the fact that the FTC is now going to go after companies that are, you know, as they put it, promoting, you know, creating fake engagement. You know, it's like.
Well, I think it's a fraud.
Yeah, it's creating the false image of popularity, right?
That's right.
So. If with that crackdown and the political advertising crackdown, we might actually see some real change there.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Cool. Something to keep an eye on.
Well, I have some stuff I want to bring to the table this week. You know, as you might know or not, my former life, I came out of IT, was chief information officer, and let's say 15, 20 years ago, it was a real push for big organizations to integrate platforms. It was always a big pain in the neck when you had 10 different systems as a corporation to have interfaces to each other because he needed information from this system and this system, and he ended up building hundreds of interfaces. And so that everybody recognized, you need integration platforms. Everybody just connects to the middle, let's say, easy talk. And then once you connect to the central hub, let's say, everybody can talk to everybody. Now, this is happening on healthcare, which is really exciting, and I think it will change the industry fairly quickly. Because the industry, with all the EMR system, the practice management system, billing systems, then you have your website. Big organizations have, let's say, CRM systems, Salesforce, and. They all are still very often sitting in islands and then talk to each other. And it's like, for example, practitioner information. You need it in the practice management system for the appointment booking, you need it in the EMR system, you need it on the website, you need it in billing, the insurances, the payer need it. And what's happening now, there are more and more actually providers and platforms, new businesses out there, they provide cloud-based connectivity. So, we talked about Triage Track, that we spun out of Points Group. My intention is to connect Triage Track to, for example, HealthJump. HealthJump is one of those companies, and by us connecting to HealthJump, we automatically have connections to the biggest EMR systems. So if somebody has an EMR system that is connected to HealthJump, and they want to use Triage Track, they now can very easily create a connection without any big investment. So what you will see more is in healthcare, providers and doctors will approach IT completely differently, where in the past it would have been a really big investment or cost for a small practice. Now they might say, we'll go to one of those hubs and we look what their systems are, and we commit to a hub and use all the systems that they have, and like this, I have a complete package of completely integrated systems. This is still in the infancies in healthcare, but I think it will really drastically change everything. For example, you can have centralized reporting now. Even for us, I think we might actually end up going in this direction. We use that, what's the name of that connectivity software that we have used? Zapier, right. That's not specific to healthcare, but it's the same idea.
Yeah, that's certainly something we see, like when the headaches of connecting with these, I'll call them legacy systems, in healthcare, in government, everything's just so outdated, and they're just playing catch up.
What healthcare is challenged with is the regulation and HIPAA and all of those things. So that's where Zapier cannot really completely step into that space unless they say, we have a specialized arm or function that's really specialized in healthcare. That's why I think we see these healthcare specific platforms pop up, because they say, okay, we are HIPAA compliant, we are, they use the H7, I think is the protocol, standards for exchanging data. So I'm really excited about that actually.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd imagine that would lead to more innovation, less, if there's less roadblocks to creating some cool new technology or service, and it plugs and plays easier with these old systems, that will ultimately lead to more innovation in healthcare, better healthcare.
That's right.
So that's exciting.
It's also, I think what you can do then as a healthcare provider, or even as a service provider like us, you can actually take one of those hubs and with all those systems and platforms and start overlaying services that cut across all systems, and start providing implementation services or even customer service across all platforms supporting that. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, that was my some points for this week. Do you guys have anything else?
Yeah, I got one more, and it's specific to Google Ads. They've released in beta, so it's a small rollout to some advertisers. We actually do have access to it. It's a lead form ad extension, and what it is an extension on the ad as it's served as the result, and they can fill out a form right there without clicking the ad and navigating to your landing page. So similar to a call extension in a way where they can click directly on the number in the ad and call you. Now they can click directly on the form and submit their information. And Google will actually pre-populate some of their information as well, making it easier for them to just submit whatever they need to say, and you got their information, everything you need there.
It really makes me crack up. I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
One side, I can see how it lowers the conversion barrier. I can definitely see that. But is Google really so selfless that they want to make it so easy for us now that we get better leads? I think it's just another way for them to collect even more information about, at the point of conversion,
Right.
which is incredible.
And they might be cutting out, you in some ways. They're not going to your website, so you might be missing some
That's
data
exactly
that
right.
Other capture.
Which is in general the trend, we talked about it this week, that Google drives more and more traffic away from actually its customers, from all the other corporations, and try to keep the people, the searchers, on the search engine.
Yeah, but we see the answers served right in the search engine sometimes, yeah.
But that could be a huge, I could definitely see.
Thing. And it makes me wonder, I guess when you think about it that way, yes, that'll create more leads, but are they really good quality leads?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Do they really have all the information do they need to make that appointment first, or are they just gonna fill it out and never actually act upon it once it's filled out?
Right. Yeah, because you're going to have more information on a landing page than you'd have in an ad.
Exactly.
Are you really the person they want to be contacting?
Also, interesting question related to that. Can you consider that conversion an opt-in for your newsletter?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. That's a great question.
I'm sure there's some angles you could take there. Some more top funnel type campaigns.
Well,
Something to look into.
cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that was our first attempt of hashtag just some points. We did this with our videographer today, with my iPhone, and with just some shady lighting. So we'll see how it shakes out. So see you next week.
Yep. See you next week.